Thanks for having me. So, yeah, the LSD of the higher orders, or why users will never hold LSTs. So, yeah, my name is Illia Abrosimov. I'm a co-founder and CEO of LTV Protocol, and today we're going to dive deep in this interesting world of the tokenization of the higher orders. But first, what is LSD? It's pretty obvious, liquid staking derivative, also widely known as LST. What is tokenization of the higher orders? It's basically just a token over token over token. And why nobody will hold LSTs? To explain this, I will need to tell you a little stories. Actually, 4 stories. And we'll start from the tokenization of the higher orders. The main thesis that I want to start with is that tokenization brings market efficiency. Tokenization lowers the cost of entry or exit the position because it's much cheaper to just buy a token or sell a token instead of doing any complex strategy. Tokenization makes much easier the access to the position, again, because it's much easier to just buy or sell a token. And it brings enhanced composability, the ability to build new products on top of existing ones much simpler. And this is the consequences of the composability. You can take a look at this simple directly acyclic Ethereum tokenization graph, and if you think it sounds complicated, at the end of the talk it will sound even worse, I promise you. Anyway, we'll start from the base layer. It just is. On the next layer we see the LSTs, layer 1, LRTs, or layer 2, Pendle PT, YT tokens, or layer 3. Along the hallway you have ability to join LP tokens on any layer, and the last layer, leverage tokens. Now, imagine Alice. Alice just wants to maximize her ETH yield. So she goes to, for example, Rocket Pool, gets RETH. With RETH, she goes to EtherFi, gets ETH. EtherFi, she deposits to Pendle to get PT token, and after that goes to leverage vault, deposit it, and get the leverage vault. So, to be honest, I think even in this room, not many people will go so deep manually. And because it's just much simpler to buy a token of leverage vault and get the whole stack just in one click. And this is exactly how the tokenization of higher orders works. You just go on the DEX or CEX and buy a token and get the whole complicated strategy. And with each new layer, you obviously get more rewards, but also you get more risks. And I want to talk about specific risk of the last layer. And actually, it will be solving a little mystery of why this layer is the last one right now. And I give you a small hint. So all the leverage token layers, all the strategies right now has the same risk of the curator. And this is what we define as a problem. We believe that curator risk creates the glass ceiling for the new layers of the tokenization. Let me explain it. So leverage tokens has interest rate volatility risk and the liquidation risks that are basically the part of the nature of a leverage position. It cannot be removed. But the curator risk is not. It can be removed. It's just a lazy design solution and unnecessary manual work that can be automated. And to be precise, here is how we at LTV define the curator risks. So the curator strategies is the strategies that has non-transparent and unpredictable behavior because it's defined from somewhere off-chain, and it has permissioned execution, meaning that only the vault curator can basically execute the strategy. In a contrast, curatorless strategies are fully transparent and predictable. That's very important because they defined on the smart contracts layer. Everybody knows what to expect. And anyone also can execute them. So the execution is fully permissionless. And we have a hypothesis that the next layer of the tokenization will be built. And there is only one blocker that stops it, and this is the risk of the curator. So the curator risk creates the glass ceiling for the next layers of the tokenization. So why actually curatorless is a secret sauce? I think at that point it's pretty obvious because curatorless approach always open the possibility to build the next layer of the tokenization. But it's a bit tricky one because it's really hard to implement usually. And in case of leverage vaults, nobody did it so far. We did it. So yeah, I'm glad to say that we actually defined the fully formal model for curatorless leverage tokens in our paper. And shortly after that, we validated it by raising an angel round from a group of DeFi OGs. And now I want to talk with you about the impact of such a curatorless leverage tokens on the market, and why, in the end, nobody will hold the LSTs. And we start again from the market efficiency. So here you can see the chart of the APYs of the top LSTs. And you can see that like 2 years ago, there was high cross-sectional yield dispersion between the APYs of the LSTs. But with the time flows, we see how the sigma convergence of the staking rewards is happening. And we believe it is happening because the LSTs transform staking into a liquid and arbitrable market, and basically, market just become more efficient. Yeah, here you can see how the dispersions flows away. And now we can take a look at, on how inefficient right now the market of leverage positions on top of the LSTs. So the first example, the same Lido LST, the same LTV protocol on BNB has 6 times more yield than on Ethereum. Again, Morpho yields on base for both LSTs is like hugely outperforming the same LST's yield on Ethereum. And EtherFi leverage position always outperforms Lido on Ethereum, and on base chain is like totally opposite situation. So it's like hugely uneven markets right now. And remember this chart with the sigma convergence of the staking rewards? So we believe it will be the same effect with the leverage tokens. And as leverage tokens are basically highly dependent on the interest rate in lending protocols, we will see the sigma convergence of the interest rate in lending protocols as well. By the way, all the data about the leverage positions across several chains is gathered in our market research doc, so feel free to contact me and request the access. We'll be glad to share. Getting back the TVL boosts. So obvious point, the leverage tokens will boost the TVL of underlying LSTs and LRTs. Right now, there are more than 6.8 billions to be deposited into Lido, similar numbers to EtherFi, Rocketpool, Renzo, all these LSTs. But more interestingly, that will also accelerate the competition, because 6.5 billions from this liquidity is actually laying in the shared pools in lending protocols. So even like a smaller advantage in a setup for a leverage position for each LST or LRT, gives it the competitive advantage to grab all this liquidity. And all the products that can be built on top, like the auto yield optimizers, aggregators, etc., they will accelerate this process even further, because they just rebalance to wherever the yield is higher, obviously. So why in the end, nobody will hold LSTs? Because they will hold the liquid staking derivatives of the higher orders instead. Auto rebalancing indexes, aggregators with leverage, etc., boosting their own APY, and by doing that, accelerating the natural selections of the token in a DeFi. And this is not about the gambling on 100x, it's just about accelerating the natural DeFi evolution. And growing this tree of the tokenization, because we believe once the layer of the leverage tokens will be fully curatorless, there will be new and new layers of the products on top. And we obviously want to be a part of this future. That's why we published everything, formalized model, published it in a paper, already in a test net for the last 2 months. You can scan the link, you can try to broke it, we'll really appreciate that. And I'm glad to announce here that we are going to mainnet in August 2025. Kind of big announcement for us. At the first stages, our mainnet will be only for selected liquidity providers, but obviously, shortly after that, we'll open it to public. So that's why you may consider to follow us on Twitter for the updates. Thank you very much for your attention.